Ready?
Ready.
And action. All right. Welcome. My first question is, tell me who you are and tell me a little bit about yourself.
Okay. I am Mariel. I'm 35 years old. I was born here in Mérida, Yucatan, Mexico. My family is from, most of them are from Lebanese ancestry, except for my mom's mom, my grandma. She was born here in Yucatan. I used to work in a financial institution, and I had always worked in finance. But since a few years ago, I started making a professional transition. I started working around regenerative economics, even though I didn't know that term back then. And I really like it. I consider myself a person who is proactive around collective causes, but I don't like to fight for any cause. I like to contribute, participate, to work for causes. And I like to dance. I like my bunny. I enjoy the beach, traveling, and meeting a lot of people. I like art, I like history, I like culture, I like antiques, I like a lot of stuff.
Awesome. Are there any other hobbies or interests that you have or that you like to do?
Yes, I used to play softball. I played for 3 or 4 years. I started when I was 26. And I really enjoyed it, but I got hurt. A lot of parts of my body got hurt. But I didn't stop playing because I got hurt, but because my team split up and the pandemic came and I started dancing, so I don't have time for both.
Understandable. Awesome. It seems that, like, just from, getting to know the little bits of you that, you've traveled a lot and everything. Has there been a significant life experience that has shaped your perspective or influenced who you are today?
Yes, it didn't happen traveling. Actually, it happened here. I was once with some friends. A Saturday, we went bar hopping, practically. And we went to a Pipiripao bar here in Centro. And I met a Brazilian guy whose name is Vinicius. He's a very special person in my life. And he was the first person to question me what I was doing with my life. Because when he asked me what did I do for work, I don't know if I said that correctly, but when he asked me what was my job, and I said that I worked in a financial institution, he was like, "Oh, so you work for capitalism?" And I was like, "Yes." What's wrong with that, So we have a very deep connection, and we started talking a lot. He came here to study, and then he went back to Brazil. So in the meantime, he shared with me what he did. He works protecting a very important natural area in Brazil, a national park. So when I started understanding the economic issues that were a threat for nature, I started studying like how could we change that. So for me, meeting him was a life-changing experience. And last year when I went to Brazil, we saw each other again. And I think that I was also a very positive influence in his life. So I think that for me, that was the key and the key moment for a shift in what I was doing with my life.
That's awesome. And so with that, it like you said, it shifted it to the positives in your life. So for you, how do you, on the, I guess, on the other side of things, when you have like challenges and negative setbacks, how do you like handle those? Like, like what strategies do you use to push through those or overcome them?
To overcome what? I'm sorry.
Oh, like negative, like setbacks or challenges that you may um, have in life.
Well, I usually study a lot. I'm not like the best student like in school, but I like to read and to listen to people who have a lot of knowledge. So I started studying about our human behavior and how do we operate like a spiritual dimension, but even a physical dimension and the emotional and all the relationships that our own selves have. And I used to work everything like with the mind, but last year while I was in Brazil, Brazil has been a very nurturing energy for me. While I was in Brazil, I started to realize that people were like very connected to their bodies, and I didn't understand what why connecting with the body was so important. So I met several women who were working with their uterus energy, and I started reading about the uterus. I started doing what I always do. If I have a question, I read. So I contacted the author of a book about the uterus that she works with Buddhism and Taoist perspective. And her book had practices, physical practices. So I contacted her because you can have like a follow-up with her. And she started teaching me Qigong. I forgot to mention that. I practice Qigong, which is a physical practice based on the traditional Chinese medicine and in Taoism. I usually say that it's like Chinese yoga for people to understand it better. But I started understanding the interconnection between our physical body, our emotions, our thoughts, and our overall energy, and what we let into our lives and what we create in our realities. So I started using physical practice, somatic practice, to overcome a lot of challenges. Actually, I do that with dancing, because dancing is like a very interesting relational therapy, because you move, you know, but you cultivate a lot of abilities. You, in a follower's case, you learn how to follow, you learn how to trust, how to loosen yourself, how to be more fluid. And when you are guiding, you need to learn how to guide another person, how to know where to go, how to give a lead without being controlling. So I think for both parties, it's like a very nurturing experience when you make that with intention. And of course, it helps you get intimate with a person, because when you physically let somebody into your physical space, you're telling your body that it is safe to let people in. Dancing is one of those practices, and also I like rituals, but not like shamanic rituals, but like to ritualize everything. If I need to overcome a challenge, if I feel that I need support, I actually support myself in my chair or in something that makes me feel supported. So yes, I finally understood how our bodies participate, and I started incorporating that to overcome almost every challenge that I face daily.
Wow, that was very amazing, very insightful. Thank you for sharing that. And it seems that, you know, you're very in touch with who you are in your inner self. And I guess my next question is, when do you feel the most connected with your inner self?
I think that lately it has been like a continuous state. That happened when I finally connected and listened to my body, and when I finally realized that every physical sensation that I have is an indicator of how connected or disconnected I am, and also when my body is at peace, I can be at peace. So I think it can also be when I am batting in the softball in the batting cage. I love that because in that moment is when I connect like with my strength, and also when I dance, because dancing is like being playful. And I think that our most authentic selves manifest when we play. And also when I am at the beach, close to the ocean, and in the villages and the communities here in Yucatan, because I have a very, very nice memories in there. And I feel that not only connected to myself, but connected to the land, to this land. So I think those are my moments of connection.
That's awesome. Man, how do you integrate self-reflection into your daily life?
Lately, a year ago or more, I used to think about everything, to find a meaning in everything or a lesson in everything. And I realized that only brought me to anxiety and overthinking. So I will sound repetitive, but it has been around physical practice and finding stillness, but not a stillness like crossing your legs and being in a Zen mode, but in a stillness where you can rest, in a stillness where you can stop chasing, being overproductive. So I think that in those moments is when I can find the stillness I need to not reflect through a mental process, but through an embodied experience.
Wow. I love your answers, by the way.
You love what?
I love your answers to like all these questions. Yeah. Very deep and far along. I guess my next question is, what is a cherished memory or moment that fills you with gratitude?
I fortunately have a lot, a big lot. But I was once in a village called Mashkanu. I went with my brother. When I used to practice Catholicism, I'm not religious now, but I went with him to that village to go in a mission That is, you go in there in the Holy Week, when Christ was crucified, and you go to a village and you participate in the religious activities of the community. And I went to help my brother in the kitchen cooking, because he took a group of boys. So I couldn't sleep with them because they were like all boys. So the great grandmother of one of a couple of or of a lot of my cousins used to live there because they are from Mashcanu, and I slept in her house. And her house was an old house like this one, with the pasta tiles, and I slept in a hammock. I love to sleep in hammocks. And I remember waking up very early in the morning, around 6 in the morning or even before, but by the sound of the birds and of nature. And I was in my hammock, and the weather was perfect because it was like humid and a little cool for Merida standards, of course. And when I woke up, she had some bakery sweet bread for me and hot chocolate. And I really enjoyed that memory, and I really cherish it. Actually, it was one of the reasons I got this house, and I really, of course, it's not as quiet in here as it is in there, but I really love that memory, and I try to replicate it whenever it's possible for me. You know, like the granny and the grandma energy, yeah. the sweet bread, the hot cocoa, and the peaceful nap in a hammock.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that memory.
For sure.
I guess one of my other questions is, do you currently, like, a lot of people have a vision of where they see themselves and the type of person they want to be. Do you feel that you are there as that person, besides the obvious of having, we're always going to grow, always going to learn, but overall, the general overall, do you feel that you are that person, or are you still thinking there's still some steps and changes you want to make with yourself to get to be that person?
I think that I am. A few months ago, maybe I wasn't, or maybe I wouldn't recognize that person in me. But I have taken many drastic steps away from what was expected for me to be, from myself, expectations from myself, and from the society and my family around, and by the society I mean, yes, of course, the society in Yucatan, but also the social structures that tell us who to be and what to do. And right now I think that I have taken myself, or brought myself until this point. Of course, everybody is perfectible, but I think that I am walking the path in life that I wanted to walk. Maybe I am in a very early stage, and sometimes I think that maybe I got here a little bit, not late, because it is not late, but I wish I would have been here like when I was younger. So, but I am also compassionate, and I honor all of my journey, and I think that I'm proud to say that I'm finally here, and that a lot of people never get to be who they want to be or who they are meant to be. So yes, I can happily say that I started a few months ago to be the person I have always wanted to be.
Awesome. I have two final questions, both about the future. is there anything particular that you're looking forward to or that brings you excitement and joy that may be coming in the next couple of months, weeks, years, decade?
A lot of things. I think I feel very excited about my life right now. I decided to not to travel not to have a very long journey or travel for leisure, like for long periods, for at least the rest of the year. But I'm looking forward, I don't know, I look forward for it every day. I was looking forward to this moment actually, and I always look forward for my dancing lessons or the next dancing party. I'm looking forward to go to the beach. I need to plan that. I'm looking forward for a barbecue I have on Sunday. For my nephew, who is due to November. That's it, the longest term. And of course, everything that can, I started working again because I quit my job last year, so I started working again formally this month of May, last May. So I'm looking forward to whatever project shows up because I'm producing and creating some projects around the things I want to promote around regenerative economics and finance. So I'm looking forward to whatever they come up, however they come up, because I don't know exactly, I'm shaping them, but I don't know the outcome. So I'm looking forward for that outcome. Looking forward to all the beautiful people I have been meeting. You know, one of the things that I am grateful for is that my life is getting enriched of new relationships, of new friends, new people who want to collaborate, and of course eventually I look forward to meet someone and to have my own family, but I don't see that coming, at least not as soon as the next dancing party or the barbecue on Saturday. But that's something that I'm looking forward to, and I'm like curious about who, when, where, but not like focus on how.
Awesome. Hey, and you never know what could happen between now and then, so that's great.
Yes, I rather focus it on short-term
Yes.
expectations.
And then my final question is, a lot of times, you know, and people always ask this question, what would you tell your younger self? But I want to switch it and say, if your 10 years from now self or 20 years from now self, what would you say now to your future self?
What would I say to my future self?
Yeah.
That's a hard one.
Yeah. If they were like watching if you know you go back and watch this, like what would you want to tell yourself who's watching this currently?
Who is watching? That's a really good question. Because I don't know what that person would be. Well, that would be the first thing to imagine what that person would be doing or wanting or feeling. I don't know. You left me speechless.
It's okay. Take your time.
I will take my time. I would tell me, to keep taking it easy, because I think that 10 years from now, I would be like I am now cultivating. No, I'm now seeding things. Planting things, and I think that by then I would be collecting, but also need to cultivate. So I will tell myself to keep it slow. Don't forget to keep it slow, because I could probably forget it when I get to the I don't know how to say it in English, la inercia del trabajo. And also, I would probably be like with kids or with somebody, so I would tell that person, I would tell myself, not to forget about the things that give me joy, to nurture all these things that today make me the person that I want to be. Because I think that back then it's the thing that it's what I forgot, and that maybe I feel myself right now in a moment in between, in transitioning from one lifestyle, one person to another. And I don't think that in that moment I will be like in a completion state, but I will be like in a more with more activity, or with more structure, not coming from within, but structure from the outside, holding a lot of things. So not to forget about nurturing whatever nurtures myself, and to keep it always slow.
Awesome. Well, that's it. Thank you so much for sharing your awesome wisdom and everything that has happened in your life. I'm sure it will inspire many.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. So yeah, I like to always end with a high five. Awesome.